Jacaro Toro here, and this is now the third video about Australian Aboriginal religion, or religions is what I should say. And in the previous one I introduced terms such as dreaming and the law. We talked about the role of the ancestors. And today I would like to ask the question, so what is virtue in Australian Aboriginal religions? Well, virtue is caring for the land by following the ancestral precedent, which is in focus in the religion, in Aboriginal religiosity. So you care for the land so that the group can continue to live from the land, and so that future generations can as well. So there are definitely ties to an ecological consciousness here, and to economy. But John Morton, in an article, points out that he sees connections to nationalism as well. Because in the stories about the ancestors creating the land, it is always described that each and every country, actually, also a term that was mentioned in the previous video, each and every country was the most beautiful one, the most bountiful one, and so on. Yes, so Australian Aboriginal religions are not focused on eternity, on the ever after. They are religions focusing on the practical survival of people in the present. Yes, but it is a fact that Australian Aboriginal religions have been influenced by Christianity for a long time. And it's also a fact that today most Aborigines don't live on their ancestral lands. So the idea has come about, and it's shared by Aborigines, urban Aborigines and non-Aborigines alike, that there is a pan-Australian dreaming. Traditional dreamings are very much localized to different countries, as I described in the previous video. But here there is the idea of the pan-Australian dreaming. And under influence from Christianity, the idea has come in that there has been a fall from grace. There was a paradise state originally. This was before the whites came and started to colonize. And that, the colonization, was the fall from grace. And now we are living in this post-fall from grace state. But there is a hope of redemption. If both Aborigines and non-Aborigines see the need to focus on the land, the well-being of the land, the paradise state can be restored. This may be what Australian Australian Aboriginal band Yotto Yindi sang about in their song Treaty in the early 1990s, when they sang, "Now two rivers run their course, separated for so long. I'm dreaming of a brighter day when the waters will be one." That may have been what they were referring to. I am not 100% sure, but it may have been. Incidentally, I believe that this is why so many Westerners are interested in Australian Aboriginal religiosity, because first of all, ecological consciousness is becoming more and more important in the West. Secondly, they see a fundamentally Christian story, and that is one that they recognize then, one with paradise and a fall from grace and the hope of redemption. And thirdly, the idea about the noble savage has become very widespread. The idea that when people lived as hunter-gatherers, that was the ideal way of life for human beings. That was the paradise state. You cannot live in a better way. And I have been told off by people when I have explained what traditional Aboriginal life was like in different ways. Hint, it was quite brutal. Well, it so happens that those people were ignorant, and they belonged to the people who want to believe the myth of the noble savage, and that it's possible to create a paradise state for us human beings. Well, the way I see it, Homo sapiens have always been Homo sapiens for as long as we have been around. And it would seem to me that while we can imagine a paradise, we seem to be unable to create it. And so no, there has not been any paradise state in Australia ever, and I'm sure I will get back to this in future videos. If you've made it this far into the video, why not like it and share it with someone you think might be interested in it? And also consider subscribing. In the next video about Aboriginal religiosity and Aboriginal religions, I intend to talk more about totemism, which was mentioned more in passing in the last video. And I'm also going to talk about increase, which was connected to totemism, and perhaps still is in some parts of Australia. So what is increase? Well, I guess you'll have to watch the next video to find out. So, see you later.